Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. Hope you're having a wonderful hump day. I think this is Wednesday, if I remember correctly. I thought it was Wednesday all day yesterday. And then my son and I were talking, and he mentioned something that's coming up Thursday. And I said, "Isn't that tomorrow?" And he goes, "No, that's Wednesday, Dad." I was like, "Oh, huh." There's a couple seconds of your life you'll never get back. Hi, guys. Hope you're well. Shio, yeah, sorry about how touchy the YouTube folks are. Shio tried to tell a joke in chat there, and the joke is, why did the seaman cross the road? Because my wife put on the wrong socks. And it stopped him from saying semen, which is really weird. That's not a slur or anything, YouTube. I don't understand. But just to help tighten that joke a little bit, Shio, it should have been your mom put on the wrong socks. Just makes it a little more uncomfortable. Throwing that out there. Oh man, what a day. I should be sleeping right now, but my body is it can't decide. I was gonna do the show earlier, had it all set up and ready to go. Was just getting ready to hit go, and my body went, let's not do that. So I went and laid down for a while, and then I'm trying to sleep and I'm sleeping, and I wake up and my body went, we're not doing this anymore. Like, fuck you. God, I hate you, you son of a bitch. Me and my body are we're at war with each other right now, and I'm gonna win, damn it. I'm not in like any extra pain or anything. It's just enough to keep pissing me off. What kind of bunny are we talking? Let's jump right into the silliness, shall we? Oh dear God. Um, you guys know I love my Twitter. You know I love Twitter. It is a cesspool of stupidity. It is a trash fire, and I fucking love it. However, sometimes even I just have to be like, what? What? So we saw this right after we were ending the show yesterday. Me and Jack were talking about it. Elon Musk tweeted out, follow, and then he made a rabbit emoji. That's what he said. This is the tweet that has pissed off this woman. Right here, follow the rabbit. And she said this. Elon Musk is now explicitly encouraging his 120 million followers to start following QAnon. Put differently, Elon Musk is encouraging his 120 million followers to join a domestic terrorism movement. She goes on to tell us in a later tweet that when it comes to QAnon, the rabbit was one of the first emojis they ever used. The first one, in fact, it was the only one that it's definitely a QAnon thing. This is a real thing that happened. This woman claims to have a PhD. Now, I didn't know Q had anything to do with rabbits. I saw this and immediately thought Alice in Wonderland. But yeah, apparently no. All rabbits are now QAnon related. QAnonymous, I guess. This is a grown-ass woman. Hammond Bean says, so she's insane. Yeah, if you don't know who Carolyn or Bueno is, she is absolutely insane. I do not follow this woman. I only ever see her because she says incredibly stupid things, and I see her a lot. She pops up on my timeline constantly because she's dumb as shit. Wow. All right. He was saying, down the rabbit hole, which is Alice in Wonderland. Maybe Q said it once. The Q anonymous folks have used it here, but that doesn't make it their thing. You might as well have been talking about a Disney movie for fuck's sake. And no, oh my God, he wants 120 million people to become terrorists. Jesus Christ, lady, calm down. I don't say this much about women, but seriously, you need to get laid. You need somebody to get in there and pound the demons out because there's something fucking wrong with you. You see a rabbit emoji and you immediately jump to fucking terrorism? Yeah, you have some screws loose upstairs. And I have a feeling that if you let the right person do it, they bah, 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 bah. And you'd be going, exercise my demons. And it would be all better for all of us. All of us. if you just let that happen. And I'm not saying anybody go do that to her against her will. I'm saying she needs to embrace it. Embrace that good pounding that she needs, because the bitch is insane. She got the demons in her. Fuck. He wants you to become terrorists. Oh. Yeah, that's what Elon's about. Elon's just out there. He's like, you know what? I'm the richest man in the world. I've decided to buy Twitter so that I can make QAnon a much bigger place and everybody can become terrorists. And my secret plan, I'll use a rabbit emoji. Nobody will even get it. It'll be such a rabbit whistle that nobody will pay attention except for those who truly get it, which would be kind of the side point, trying to get everybody to pay attention to it. But yes, this is his ever so clever rabbit whistle. Fuck me. What is wrong with these people? What is wrong with you when you see something like that and they want to kill everybody? Thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist $12. Epic troll idea. Turn the follow the white rabbit line from the Matrix into a QAnon dog whistle. Make the lefties fight over their trans allegory movies. Well, I mean, there's that too. There's lots of fun you could have with these people because they're fucking stupid. And I cannot express that enough. How many people follow Miss Carolyn over here? Caroline has 454,000 followers. 454,000 followers, and not all of them are hate followers. Some of them actually believe this woman is sane, I guess is the word I'm looking for. She is a behavioral scientist. Yeah. And she's an idiot. She's a fucking idiot. If you scroll, I don't care about promoted tweets. Scroll down, the kind of stuff that she retweets and stuff. Despite recent rumors that all the spammy Twitter bots have been banished to a spamtastic afterlife, one only has to look at the followers of the aptly named bot fight club to find evidence that fake follower botnet continues to flourish. And it has the picture of Elon with the bots. By the way, if you actually saw the Elon tweet with this, he wasn't saying bots were dead. He was saying that they had been removed from relevance because he was doing testing and trying to get bots to respond to his tweets. And they did, but they were pushed way down in what he saw instead of being like at the top of the responses that he was getting. But no, see, they told you they got rid of them, but nuh-uh. Here's the thing about Elon Musk. Follow the rabbit tweet. It'd be easier to give him the benefit of the doubt if so many of his recent tweets weren't dog whistles. There it is. Rabbit whistle. But they are. And QAnon fans see it, which is why they view his tweets as a green light. And where do they get that from? A Vice article. What's the date on this? December 13th. So that came out today. This came out today. On Monday night, Elon Musk tweeted an explicit encouragement to his 121 million followers to look into the QAnon conspiracy movement. He said, follow the rabbit. Most normal people who see this are going to be like, oh, Alice in Wonderland. Nah, bro. It's not the Mad Hatter and all that. Nope. It's literally, oh, Jesus Christ. All right. I have a pretty intelligent audience. There's 90 of you watching on YouTube right now. How many's over on the Rumbles? Let's see. On the Rumbles, we have another 18. We got over 100 people here. How many of you had ever heard rabbits and QAnon together? I'm very curious. Give me a 1 if you're like, yes, I knew that. And 2 if you're like, these people are fucking insane. I thought go down the rabbit hole. Exactly. But no. Follow rabbit emoji, Musk tweeted. Seemingly innocuous. Follow the white rabbit is a line from the Lewis Carroll book, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And it's since pop culture, most notably the original Matrix movie. Well, then, yes, it makes perfect sense that what he was really talking about was QAnon. I don't understand these people. I really, honest to God, don't. It's a mental illness at this point. Anybody that they decide is bad for whatever reason, they're not just bad, they're the ultimate evil. Keldrick, thank you. The only people hearing the dog whistle seem to be the people that hate them. Not very effective dog whistles. I know, right? They're doing a really bad job with their dog whistles when the only people who can hear the dog whistles are people who are looking out for dog whistles to stop people from hearing the dog whistles. It's a really bad system that they got going on with how they're communicating with people. It feels to me like it would be just a lot easier if what Elon wanted here was for him to be come out and tweet, follow QAnon, right? He owns the platform. It's not like he's going to get kicked off for saying it. But no, they're like, he said rabbit. But since 2018, the saying has become synonymous with QAnon. All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't follow QAnon all that much. Everything I know about QAnon comes from all of these stories telling me how horrible QAnon is. It's all I know. And I'm going to tell you this. I've read a ton of those stories. You know what I've never seen in any of those stories? Not a single fucking one. Anything about a goddamn rabbit. Brand says, sorry, you're late. Have a great show. Running back to the start. Hey, I appreciate you being here whenever you make it. Within minutes of Trump's tweet, QAnon communities on message boards, Telegram channels. Is QAnon only followed by people in the press? I have to assume they are because, man, every time there's some QAnon thing, they know what all the things that the QAnoners are saying. Maybe if you guys all dropped out of those, there'd be like nobody left. I'm just throwing that idea out there. Within minutes, blah, blah, blah. On Trump's Truth Social platform and on Twitter itself, lit up with excitement, believing that the world's richest man was sending them a direct message. What? All right. I suppose you have proof. While Musk has dismissed the claims that he is promoting QAnon, experts worry. Don't pay any attention what the guy who did it said, okay? What he wants doesn't matter. Let's go ask those experts. The experts. We'll get to some of those experts in just a little bit. The experts worry that explicit signal he is giving the QAnon community by referencing the white rabbit will embolden them even further and possibly cause violence. Why is it always that? Why is it always violence? Why is it never it's going to make somebody say mean jokes about dead babies or something? It's always violence. There's not very much, if any, evidence of any of this violence, but it's always the violence. Shio, thank you. This bitch does have a point protesting rabbits, but it's not Elon who should be drawing her ire. It's Richard Gere, or was that Gerbils? I believe that was Gerbils. You're mixing up your small rodent-like animals. All right. Over the last few weeks, Musk hasn't done much to dissuade QAnon believers. Twitter has reinstated a host of major QAnon accounts onto the platform. Major. Not the minor ones. Make sure it's the big ones. Because he had to make sure it was. Anyway, he quotes the tweet. And then we get our crazy Caroline bitch. Yeah, so QAnon fans have definitely noticed Elon Musk's follow the white rabbit tweet and have already started connecting it to adrenochrome, whatever, Podesta, Hillary Clinton, child trafficking, Saudi Arabia, and more. And those look like Reddit. Am I seeing that right? But she posts some clips of weird people she went and found. Metal Minister, thank you so much, who says, howdy, monk. Get off the Starlink. I'm not on the Starlink. Not on the Starlink at all. Here we go. A QAnon account with over 80,000 followers on Truth Social wrote in the above screenshot. Much of the QAnon community believe that the recent restoration of Trump's Twitter account would see him tweet about the storm that QAnon followers have been waiting 5 years to happen. Is this like a messianic cult? Is that what Q is? They're waiting for they're waiting for the Messiah to come back. That's what their storm. I don't know. Where are we at here? However, given Musk's recent posts, some in the community are now predicting that Musk and not Trump will be the messenger to bring about the storm. Dun, dun, dun. Seriously, news media. Nobody would be paying any attention to Q if you weren't. And you're doing it because you need a boogeyman. You need somebody that you can be like, oh, they're the bad guy. Spartan John, thank you so much coming through with that feminist $12. My wife is being induced tomorrow, and with stuff like this, I fear for the world I'm bringing my bringing my son into. One, congratulations to you and your wife. Many happy blessings on that. Look, the world is just going to keep roaming round and round, and I get you. I have young grandchildren. I still worry for my children. They're grown. It's my grandchildren that are being indoctrinated into this kind of nonsense these days that have me worried. So I understand. But I am one of those people who believes that children are a blessing in most cases, hashtag not all, but just love them and keep them safe and do your best to be the one that educates them instead of letting it just be schools or just be infotainment on the internet that passes as news. So anyway, yeah, these people are losing their goddamn minds because Elon Musk tweeted out a fucking rabbit. That's what they're losing their shit over. It's the Q. And the reason I wanted to talk about this, besides it just being silly, goes back to the point I was making just a little bit ago, where when they decide somebody's bad, when they decide that okay, that is our new target of evil, they're not just a little bit bad. They don't just disagree with me a little bit. They are trying to kill people. They're doing all kinds of horrible things that's going to bring violence and destruction. Yoel Roth had to go into hiding. He had to flee, you guys, because Elon Musk sent bad people after him by pointing out that Yoel Roth was being a dickhead behind the scenes. Now, that doesn't mean anybody should be going after Yoel Roth, of course. Not suggesting that in any way, shape, or form. But it's amazing how if there's even the slightest hint of criticism of somebody that they agree with, then that person is being targeted for hate and harassment. But they can literally go out there and say that Elon Musk is trying to get 120 million people to join a terrorist organization. And that doesn't do anything. That's not stochastic terrorism anyway. No. That's just speaking truth to power. What the fuck? Why is it like this? And I'll tell you why it's like this. That's a rhetorical question. It's because the people who control the narrative, even with Elon owning Twitter now, the media still controls the narrative, and these people are shitbags. Repeat after me. These people are shitbags. They get to tell you who is being targeted. They get to tell you who the terrorism is aimed at. That's where it always comes from. It's them. They decide. So their side is always the victim, and the other side is always the bully, even when it's somebody who mostly agrees with them. Elon Musk has not done anything to show that he's like extremely right-wing. Ever. Never. Same thing with Donald Trump. Donald Trump's horrific ultra right-wing thing was we need to control the border. The same thing that Bill Clinton and Barack Obama repeatedly said. That was his, oh my God, look at this racist motherfucker for trying to keep illegals out. Really? Messiah Obama said the same thing. Granted, he didn't work on it, but he said it out loud, and you guys didn't go, oh my God, he just wants to kill the Mexicans. It's not until somebody from the other side says it, and you decide that that's the thing that you're going to go after now. Fucking hate these people. They're such dirty, lying little shits. You know what I mean? You can't even take them seriously because they're Well, you have to take them a little bit seriously, if I'm being honest, because they do control the narrative. What have I told you? Control the language, you control everything. So that's why you see it. That's why you see when they go after somebody on the right, there's nothing wrong. Even when it leads to something like having people try to go to Brett Kavanaugh's house to kill him. Hey. That was not a real big deal. That's not because of the left. It's not because of the left. I don't want to say disrespecting. What's the word I want here? Being openly violent in their rhetoric towards the Supreme Court, especially the conservatives on the court. That's how I want to say it. It's not because of that. No. What it's because of is their own stochastic terrorism that they point towards everyone else. That's what does it, you see. But on the right, if somebody like Donald Trump were to tweet out that I like Big Macs, or no, here, let's use an old rap lyric. Fuck the Whopper, I like a Big Mac, right? Take that line. And if Donald Trump tweeted that out, they'd be like, oh my God, Donald Trump is telling people to go kill anybody that works at Burger King or likes their food. They're that over the top about this shit. They're so, any criticism of a lefty, like, you're trying to get them killed. No, I'm pointing out their fucking retard. It happens. I got threatened the other day online. Many people saw it. This fucking asshole told me that I would be treated accordingly because I was a existential threat to them. And my answer was, go fuck yourself, because I don't take you seriously because you're just some asshole on the internet. Instead, though, if I had been a liberal and somebody had tweeted that to me, I could have went to the New York Times and they'd have done a front page story about how somebody came after me because I'm a right winger, or well, left winger, if the Times was actually going to write about it. They never write about the terrorism pointed at right wing, and if they do, it's usually to excuse it. For instance, go back to the Brett Kavanaugh case where this guy shows up at Brett Kavanaugh's house with duct tape and zip ties and a gun. It's basically he had the Paul Pelosi handbag, but with a gun inside. And they're like, well, he didn't actually go up to the door, so it's not that big of a deal, really. Yeah. It's amazing how they excuse that kind of shit. Speaking of excusing, monkey, you did not come prepared. Don't worry, I know where to find it. Speaking of these lunatic lefties, there was a House oversight, right? The House Oversight Committee had a meeting today, and there was a wonderful interaction, a wonderful exchange that happens. Nancy Mace, who is the Republican lead, what do they call that? The minority leader on the committee. She gets to do some questioning after Jamie Raskin shuts the fuck up. Oh my God. I tried watching the whole thing and I just couldn't take Raskin. That guy looks like a nutsack is melting. It's really weird. But anyway, so Nancy is not Nancy. This is Nancy Mace. I should do Nancy Mace. She's asking some questions.
Is rhetoric on social media a problem and a threat to our democracy, Mr. Ward?
Ranking member, that's what it's called. Ranking member. I knew it would come to my head.
Yes, absolutely.
Mr. Siegel.
Hang on. We got to go back to this guy for a second. I don't know who he is.
A problem and a threat to our democracy, Mr. Ward.
I don't know who Mr. Ward is, and I really don't know why one of his eyes is looking to the extreme right while the other one's looking ahead. I'm sure there's a reason for that. I don't mean to make fun of him, but it drove me nuts every time. I'm not trying to be mean to the guy, but do the audience a favor and put on some sunglasses. Damn.
Yes, absolutely.
Mr. Siegel.
Yes.
Ms. Caraballo.
Yes.
All right. Pay attention. This one who just answered. Is rhetoric online a danger to people? Miss Carballo, we've talked about her before many times. Miss Carballo, is it? Yes. Keep that in mind. Don't let this fat dude dressed as a woman. Don't let that answer get out of your mind.
Ms. Nomani.
Yes.
Ms. Tyler.
Yes.
Another question I have, do you believe that rhetoric targeting officials with violence for carrying out their constitutional duties is a threat to democracy?
Now, that almost sounds like she's asking about like a January 6th kind of question, right? Do you think violent rhetoric against people who are just carrying out their constitutional duties is an issue? It's not what she's talking about, though. I'm just going to warn you, this is a setup. This is a setup. I excel at setup questions. I do it all the time when I'm engaged on Twitter because a lot of people are really stupid and don't understand that they're being set up. But Alexandria Caballo should have known. She should have known. But I promise you, she's not talking about January 6th here. Let's go back and hear her question.
Do you believe that rhetoric targeting officials with violence for carrying out their constitutional duties is a threat to democracy, Mr. Ward? Mr. Siegel?
Yes.
Yes.
We got another yes from Carballo.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Only a few weeks after the attempted attack on a Supreme Court justice on June 25th, one of the witnesses, Alejandra Caraballo, tweeted out the following in response to a decision on abortion overturning Roe v. Wade, and I'll quote directly from the tweet: "The 6 justices who overturned Roe should never know peace again. It is our civic duty to accost them every time they're in public. They are pariahs. Since women don't have their rights, these justices should never have a peaceful moment in public again."
Miss Carballo, we have some questions for you. Seems to fly right in the face of what she just said, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Oh, but she's not done yet. We're not done with this one yet.
I know something about being accosted. The night of January 5th, I was physically accosted on the streets of DC in Navy Yard by a constituent of mine.
You guys have heard all about that, right? When Mace was accosted the night before January 6th. You guys have heard all about that, right? Big head. Who am I fucking with? No, you didn't. That shit wasn't in the papers.
I fervently blamed rhetoric on social media, rhetoric at public events, for being physically accosted. I carry a gun everywhere I go.
Those of you who are thinking about accosting Miss Mace here, keep that in mind. Bitch is packing. I love that she says this on the fucking floor of the House. I mean, it's in a committee room, but still. She's like, motherfucker, I'm packing. Try me.
I am in my district and I'm at home, because I know personally that rhetoric has consequences. I've had my car keyed. I've had my house spray painted. I had someone trespass in my house as recently as August.
You guys heard about that one, right? You heard about a sitting member of Congress having somebody trespassing in their home? You all heard about that, right? Fuck, who am I kidding? You guys didn't hear about that shit either. And I'm only, look, maybe one or two of you did. I only say that so confidently that you guys didn't hear it, because I follow the news pretty fucking closely. Heard neither of these two stories, which actually all 4 of those things should have been mentioned in major news articles. Her getting accosted on January 5th, her car being keyed, her house being spray painted, and somebody being kicked out of her home. Trespassing inside, breaking and entering kind of shit. But no, that doesn't make the big news because, well, she's a Republican. If she was a Democrat, even if somebody, they were in an elevator together and somebody farted, they'd be like, oh, there was a gas attack against Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She almost died 16 times. Curious, thank you so much. In June 2020, Lincoln Project's Rick Wilson quote tweeted Domino's Pizza 2012 reply tweet to Kayleigh McEnany saying, "You just killed your brand. Trump is so toxic that we must cancel pizza because 8 years later, he hired someone who said kind words, right? Yeah, I mean, what a world. All right, back to Nancy. Remember, guys, she's packing.
I've been doxxed on social media about where I live.
You guys heard about that too, right? Fuck, never mind. I'm going to stop doing that game because we all know.
And I've had to add to security everywhere I go. Often, because I can't afford it, I have to carry my own firearm wherever I go.
Good for you, sweetie.
And
thank you, Sergeant Ork. Longtime fan. I do miss the Ducks. Miss the Ducks? What? How can you miss the Ducks? They've never gone anywhere. They're just not as prevalent anymore. They only come out from time to time. They come out once in a while. But thank you so much for the donation. Yeah, I mean, as you listen to this woman, do you remember what happened with Rand Paul? I mean, we all saw that where he was at the that was what, the Republican convention, some Republican meeting, and the police had to get involved because people surrounded him and his wife, just being shitbag, putting the man in danger. And they're like, why is he so fucked up? You have people bragging about how they wish that they were Rand Paul's neighbor. And for those of you who don't understand why that's important, his neighbor assaulted him for no reason. They're able to out there and talk like that openly in public, and you don't hear shit from the media about the violence that the left is pushing. Divine, thank you so much. A pittance donation to the Fuck Stairs Fund. Oh, I appreciate that because, yeah, fuck them stairs. You know, I never thought about how much stairs are a pain in the ass until I started falling down them on a regular basis. All right, back to Miss Mace here. She's not done with Miss Carballo there.
Alejandra Caraballo also recently tweeted on November 19th, not even a month ago, that the Supreme Court, vested with the judicial power of the United States by our Constitution, stated they are not a legitimate court issuing decisions. And also the Supreme Court is an organ of the far right. So my last question today of Ms. Caraballo, do you stand by these comments, this kind of rhetoric on social media?
All right, I'm going to let you guys guess it for those of you who haven't seen this yet. Do you think she stands by her comments? Do you think she just goes, yes, I stand by these? Do you think? Come on, stop playing. You know she didn't.
And do you believe it's a threat to democracy?
Thank you, Representative, for the opportunity to clarify and provide context to my tweets.
I have a question, is it yes or no? Do you believe your rhetoric is a threat to democracy when you're calling to accost a branch of government, the Supreme Court?
I don't believe that's a correct characterization
What
of
you
my
tweeted.
statement.
You literally tweeted that they should be accosted in public. You tweeted they should be accosted in public. I thank you for allowing me to clarify my words. What? They were pretty fucking clear. Pretty clear.
Did you not tweet that? That you thought that the Supreme Court justices should be accosted?
Look, not just that they should be accosted. Look at this. It is our civic duty to accost them. It is our civic duty to accost them anytime they are in public. Yeah, go ahead. Let's get some. You know what? I'm not even gonna lie to you. She doesn't let this woman explain. She doesn't let Carballo, however you say her name, explain. She holds her to it. Just yes or no. Do you stand by this? And it's funny as shit.
What I'm saying is that
yes
that
or
is
no?
not an
Did you tweet
accurate characterization of my statements.
It's not an accurate characterization of your statement. It's literally your statement. Now, I'll tell you what she would have said if given the chance, and maybe she answers this later, but she's going to say, but they took away abortion. Okay? It's not like she took it out of context. It's literally the fucking words you wrote.
On June 8th of this year, a man was arrested near Justice Brett Kavanaugh's home in Maryland. He told law enforcement officers he wanted to kill a Supreme Court justice. He was found with a knife, with a pistol, 2 magazines, ammunition, pepper spray, zip ties, a hammer, crowbar, and duct tape.
Ms. Caraballo.
All right, and it's switch over to this guy who does some other stuff. There's no explanation for what she did, and Mace set her up so well there, so well. Do you think that violent rhetoric on social media is a danger to democracy? Yes, 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 yes. So all of these dangers to democracy, including Carballo, weird dude dressed as a woman with a Spanish name. That's just how I'm going to start responding. That dude is like, yes, of course it is. Ha ha. I know you're coming for that January 6th shit. And then like, no, here's what you said. Here's what you said, you horrible bitch. Now, for those who don't know this person on Twitter, they are fucking horrible. It's the only person I know Carballo from, or the only place I know him from. Apparently, they work at Harvard. We've talked about this before. She's just horrible. All she does is preach hate while talking about how we need to get rid of hateful stuff. But it's only ever in the instance of her sticking up for groomers. She's the one that had the what did the shirt say? Something like "Take Back Grooming" or something like that. She actually wears a shirt proudly with the word groomer on it because she's going to own the right by embracing pedophiles, I guess. But in her world, the only thing that's ever actually violence is, pointing out that people are groomers. And nah. Me saying that the Supreme Court should never be in public without being accosted. It is your civic duty to accost them in public. Nah, man. Nah, bruh. That's no big deal at all. That's actually just shiny, happy words. She's Taylor Lorenz's favorite expert. Yes, Taylor Lorenz uses her as a source often. We even read one of Taylor's pieces where she used her as a source. Was that the same one as the Matt Jarbo source that she used? Oh. Anyhow, let's switch gears a little bit. So Sam Bankman-Fried got arrested, and this led some reporters to being like, hey, Corinne Jean-Pierre, we has a question for you, right? This guy, he gave donations and shit to Joe Biden. What's Joe Biden think about giving that money back?
The president received campaign donations, from him many times, Democrats and some Republicans as well. Will the president return that donation? Does he call on all politicians who got campaign donations that may have come from customer money to return those funds? Okay.
Will the president return the money? Sorry, I know it's very low. These press briefings are like that sometimes. Don't worry, Corinne's nice and loud. Will the president return that money, and does he call on others who receive those donations to return it as well? That's the question. Pretty simple, pretty easy question. But not for latrine.
So look, I'm covered here by the Hatch Act.
What? The Hatch Act? The Hatch Act says that you can't do political commentary. You cannot push a political viewpoint in the course of your normal duties. There are exceptions for that. And you talk politics all the time up here. All the goddamn time. I'm getting ahead of myself. Hang on. Let's let her explain.
Limited on what I can say.
No, you're not.
Anything that's connected to political contributions from here,
Not true.
I would have to refer you to the DNC.
Bullshit. Nonsense. Bullshit. You can absolutely say if the president is planning on giving back the money and whether or not he calls on other people who have gotten that money to give it back as well. Neither one of those things is a campaign platform, period. You are a liar. And I cannot believe that the rest of the press pool didn't stand up and go, bitch, what? Everyone in that room should have been like, no. Answer that fucking question. Bullshit.
his opinion, though? Does he want those people who?
No, you asked me two questions. You asked me about, will he return the donations? And then you asked me about his opinion.
Yes. So could you answer about the opinion? The opinion part of it is what he just he clarified. I'm asking about the president's opinion. So no, you asked two questions. You asked if he was going to return it and about his opinion.
And then you asked me about his opinion. I'm answering the first part, which is I'm covered by the Hatch Act from
Nonsense.
here. I'm limited to what I can say.
Liar.
And I just can't talk to political
Yes, you can.
contributions or anything related to that.
Yes, you
I
can.
cannot speak about it from here.
Yes, you absolutely can. Yes, you absolutely can. I know during Donald Trump's tenure, a whole bunch of you fucking liberals grabbed onto the Hatch Act all the time in completely wrong circumstances. And maybe it is that you guys just have never actually read the goddamn thing. But you can absolutely answer both of those questions. There's nothing in the Hatch Act that keeps you from answering either one of those questions.
His opinion, though.
I just cannot speak to this
Yes, you can.
from here. Even his opinion, even his
Liar.
thoughts about
Diversity liar.
the contributions, donations, I cannot speak about that from here.
I can't speak from that from here because we're not giving that money back. No. And if I told you that, guys, that you'd freak out and be like, well, why not? And I'd have to try to answer that question and tell you because we're greedy shitbags who were involved in a money laundering scheme. And I don't want to get into that. I don't, you know what I mean?
Covered by the Hatch Act?
I am covered by the Hatch Act, which I'm happy to say over and over again, because we believe in the rule of law here.
Oh shit. Oh, she actually said that out loud. Oh, I forgot that was how that ended. Yes, we believe in the rule of law here. There's nothing illegal about you answering either of those questions, period. And your nonsense, yeah, we believe in it. Fuck off. The Hatch Act, once again, guys, there is a reason for the Hatch Act. The Hatch Act is so that people don't go out there. Let's take your local mailman. Your local mailman. He cannot be out there when he's delivering your mail also going, hey, by the way, will you vote for X candidate? Because that's not his job, one. And two, there is a kind of authority given to people who work for government. Whether you appreciate that authority or not, there is some authority attached to it. And the idea was that you don't want anybody mistakenly thinking that this is the voice of the government coming out there. It was not so that people in power don't have to answer legitimate questions. This has nothing at all to do with the Hatch Act. And that she got away with it. It's just fucking nonsense. That reporter should have been like, that is not what the law says. How exactly at the very least, how does the Hatch Act apply here? That should have been the follow-up question. And instead, he follows up with, so you're covered by the Hatch Act. No, she's not. She's lying to you. And you let her. Because you guys work for the administration as well. Just going to throw that out there. I mean, they're not paid members of it, but they work for the administration. Let's be honest. Yeah. Do I want to cover this? Not really. We'll just throw it out there. Ex-CNN producer John Griffin pleads guilty to child sex charge. CNN, what'd you do? Hire all the people from Antifa? They've had a lot of problems with pedophiles out there in CNN lately. Stop hiring from the left. Just want to throw that out there. A little help to you. I want to get to... No, don't care about that. Where is that story? This one. It's not really a story. It's a thread that was going around on Twitter, and we'll take a closer look at the thread. But these are 6 tips rules for success that Elon Musk gave to people at Twitter. And I wanted to hug the man. I really wanted to hug the man. I know these are small, so I'll just read them. Number 1, avoid large meetings. Number 2, leave a meeting if you're not contributing. Number 3, forget the chain of command. Number 4, be clear, not clever. Number 5, ditch frequent meetings. And number 6, use common sense. 3 of his 6 rules for success here at Twitter are stop having so many fucking meetings. Do you think that was tailored to this, or do you think this was part of his success strategies prior to coming to Twitter? I just love it. Because I've spent so much goddamn time in meetings over my life. When we worked at Walmart, daily meeting. And actually, let's see, we had 3 meetings we were supposed to attend every fucking day. We had a meeting before the main store meeting. Everybody who was a department manager above had to go to these stupid ass meetings in the morning. And then good night, Pirates. Have a good night. So we have our meeting before the store meeting. Then we had the store meeting. I was supposed to have a meeting with my personnel right after that. I never did it. But then we had an afternoon meeting as well to catch up and see how we were doing. We wasted so much goddamn time in meetings. It was ridiculous. And there were times I'd flat ignore them and be like, oh man, I got busy and I forgot. Like, fuck that. I'm not going to that fucking meeting. But I just thought it was funny that that's where he went. Like, yeah, we got too many fucking meetings. But this is all part of a thread. This is some Twitter updates, I guess, is the way I would say it. Twitter news. Executives spent almost $200,000 on private jet charters after Elon agreed to go ahead and buy Twitter a week before the deal closed. Musk isn't paying the bill, leaving it to the millionaires who chartered the flights to pay. There was a story going around the New York Times. It's actually a little bit old, but for some reason it was blowing up today. Maybe they made a follow-up to it where Elon is telling people that he's not paying bills that were asinine before he took over the company. And in this case, $200,000 on private jets in a week before the deal closed. A week before. And he's like, nah, fuck y'all. Y'all pay for your shit. Good on him. Good on him. These assholes were trying to rack up extra bills and shit. And he's like, nah, I ain't doing that. I ain't paying that shit. And this actually came out, I want to say it was the 26th of November. Don't quote me on that. The first New York Times article about this, where they were like, oh my God, Elon's not paying for these agreed to trips that nobody, they want a travel reimbursement is what they call it. Motherfucker, you should have flown coach. You should have flown coach because now you got a bill for private jets, you dumb motherfucker. And I'm fairly certain that Elon could take that to court and be like, no, they were just driving up shit for no reason. And the judge would be like, pay your own bill. But we'll see what happens with those. But then we have Elon hasn't paid any rent at Twitter global offices. He is paying the data center bills. The offices are garish tombs for a dying old Twitter. The plan is to negotiate terminations. He's talked about this. He's talked about the fact that he'd really like to take that Twitter building and turn it into a homeless shelter because there's not a really good reason for it. It is over the top. It's the kind of corporate nonsense that's been going on for maybe a decade, where people are, what we need is big, spacious offices with no cubicles and a nice yoga room. And you don't need all that shit. If you can get it, fine. But he's like, nah, I ain't paying for this shit. So we'll see what happens with that. Here's one of my favorite ones. Elon is withholding severance payments to former employees who have violated the terms of their NDAs. Well, good. These are people who broke the terms of their contract. Fuck them. Should have kept your mouth shut. You signed a contract, dumbass. I put this out there with a set of summary thread Elon is running the business as a business. And that's what all of this shit runs down to. People who broke their contracts, yeah, you don't owe them shit. Sorry. Shouldn't have done that. If you wanted your money, you should have kept your fucking mouth closed. Here, at the very least, wait until you get the check, dumbass. Problem is, this is social media, and the people who worked at social media know better than anybody that if you want to jump on a trend, if you want to get your name out there, which of course they all did, you need to do it immediately. You got to be fast. You got to be real fast. So you got to strike while the iron's hot, as they say. And if they would have waited to talk shit about their ex-boss, well, people might not have cared. People might not have. Well, how's that social media clout working out for you now? How many bills is that social media clout that you got for 10 seconds? How much is that paying your bills? How's it doing with that rent payment, motherfucker? You should at least wait till you get the check. God damn. The next one, this one's funny too. Elon is withholding massive severance payments to former executives he fired for cause. Well, once again, fired for cause usually negates any of those severance packages. So if you were fired for cause, and that's in the contract, that if you're fired for cause, all of this is gone. Whoopsie. Yeah, maybe you should have been better at your job. Look, don't feel too bad for these guys. They got millions of dollars while they were working there. These ones aren't the ones that are going to have to worry about paying rent. It's the ones up top who are out there for their social media clout. Elon removed Alex Spiro, one of his personal lawyers, after he failed to terminate Twitter's disgraced Deputy General Counsel, James A. Baker. This shows you, I mean, Elon's not playing around. He fired one of his own personal attorneys for not handling this shit right. He's like, you need to go take care of that guy. You didn't do it? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you thought that this was an option. Get the fuck out. What I tell you to go do is what I tell you to go do. And they, there's going to be people like, hey, wait. I don't like a boss who just gives me directives. That's your boss's fucking job, dude. That's his job. And you know what? Hopefully you can talk to him. Hopefully you have a boss who's willing to listen. But Elon, I don't know if y'all know this. He bought this company for way too much. He spent $44 billion on Twitter. It's not worth it. Maybe it's worth half of that. And he needs to get this place in shape now. And if you're not part of the problem, or part of the solution, you're part of the problem, get the fuck out. Go. And then Twitter sent these 6 rules for success to the remaining Twitter employees, which actually they're pretty good rules for success. Like, forget the chain of command. He's not telling them to never follow the chain of command. It's like, if you have an idea and something needs done, do it. Don't sit there and wait for Yoel Roth to come tell you that, yeah, that's an okay thing to do. Fix shit. That's what you need to do. See, this is the empowering shit. Like, he'd look at you and go, yeah, that's broken. Fix it. You go fix it. And you don't have to go, oh my God, I need to go check with Elon and make sure this was okay. Now go fix it. Go do your job. Because here's what a really good boss will do. A really good boss will see that you made a mistake and see that, okay, you thought X would work with Y, would cause Z. It didn't work out that way, but at least I saw you were trying. Okay, let's get that fixed. No big deal. Live and learn. That's what a good boss will do. And I've worked at way too many places where you have bosses that Elon is portrayed as the hammer down, you have to do everything exactly how I say. Those bosses suck. As a boss myself, my rule was, hey, if you fuck up, no big deal. As long as you can explain to me why you did it that way. And then we'll go over why it didn't work. No big deal. We'll fix it. I mean, I was working retail, so it's not like we were going to fuck up something horrible. We weren't going to destroy the world or, cause a famine or something. Like, yeah, we had the wrong display up for a day. No big deal. But you want your employees to be able to think for themselves. Da, 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 da. Elon notified members of his Trust and Safety Council, an advisory group formed in 2016, that it would dissolve immediately. And oh boy, are some of these people pissed off. Because remember, the Trust and Safety Council, this is not the people who are working inside of YouTube. Or sorry, Twitter. Fuck. I'm so used to the shit that happens here. My mistake. This is not just the Yoel Roths of Twitter. This was a group of like the ADL and the SPLC. These were outside groups that came together to tell YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. Where else have I seen their names attached? All of these different social media companies have these councils that are outside groups that come in and tell them how they should run things. Like, oh, that guy's he's a bad one, so you need to get rid of him. Don't allow him to say groomer because that's a slur against gay people. By the way, saying groomer is a slur against gay people is actually kind of offensive to gay people. Please stop saying that shit. But Elon is like, nah, y'all go fuck yourselves. Get out of here. You have nothing to do with my company. Go away. And you shouldn't have a group like that because especially, it would make more sense for Elon to have that kind of group now that it actually is a private company. Twitter wasn't a private company. It was a public company. There's a slight difference there. As a public company, you do have a fiduciary responsibility to your shareholders to run the company as well as possible to get them the best return on their investment. It's literally in the law. And as a public company, letting outside sources that may not actually give a shit about how your customers, who are your investors, how they're going to do, letting them have such a say in your company, it's malpractice. They shouldn't have been involved at all. But yeah, he told him to pound sand, and good for him. Elon has also announced a massive garage sale of desks, chairs, office supplies, industrial-grade kitchen equipment, and electronics from his global offices. He's having a fire sale on all the shit that these idiots used to sit around and do nothing. I would buy... I'd probably buy some of their stuff if I need it. Because most of this, the work stuff at least, I barely used. You just don't want any of the chairs that were in a meeting room because those things are probably worn as fuck. And then there's the source, the New York Times article right here. This is the newest, the updated archive to the article I talked about earlier. He not only did kick them all out, he is selling all of their shit. Oh, I think that's wonderful. Maybe he has a third monitor for you, Monk. Yeah, but it's way over there in San Francisco. I don't know where the closest Twitter office is to me. I'm not going to San Francisco for that. No. I could use a $5,000 espresso machine. You don't want the espresso machine. You don't want the wine tap. You don't want any of the yoga pads. All of those are going to be horribly worn out, just horribly worn out. You're looking for like a desk chair. Those are going to be like in tip-top shape. They're going to be like out of the box new. So that's what you're really looking for. Oh, fuck, man. All right. What else did I have today? I just loved this thread because the guy who wrote it, I don't know where he stands, and none of his tweets really seemed like he was making a judgment one way or the other. But I saw so many people losing their shit about, oh my God, did you see how he's treating these people? He's treating it like a business. Like, he's not paying his bills. He's not paying their bills. He's not paying the bills of the people that came before him. And as for the rent, yeah, he should be paying his rent. But it's funny, the article's like, he hasn't paid the rent in weeks. Well, rent is typically paid monthly or quarterly or yearly, depending on what kind of contract you have with them. So weeks is kind of not even relevant to the discussion. Just throwing that out there. But yeah, if I'm him, I say, fuck it. I just open the doors on that building and leave it. Like, you either let me out of my lease or I really will turn this into a fucking homeless shelter. He was basing that on somebody else. There was some other building where they I want to say that like this bottom 2 floors or something like that. They opened it up to the homeless. And it was some Silicon Valley place. I want to say. Anyway, it's not like it was even his idea, but he's like, yeah, I'm going to do that to the Twitter offices. And I hope he does. He should just leave all the shit in there. I mean, he needs money, so I get why he's trying to sell that stuff, get a little bit of money back, right? Is he selling their crying closets? No idea. I'm not sure what all he's selling, but he's let go somewhere around the number of about 4,500 people. 4,000 to 4,500 last I knew. So let's just go with the 4,000. That is 4,000 computers. That is 4,000 desks. That's 4,000 chairs, 4,000 iPads. There's a shit ton of this stuff. He probably make a good 50 grand selling it all. That's no small chunk of change. It is to him and how much he owes, but it's not a small chunk of change. All right. Moving along here. What else did I have today? Oh, there's rumors swirling, and this will be interesting. I don't know if it's true or not, but there's rumors swirling that Elon is considering setting up a new alternative to PayPal. This wasn't designed as an Elon show. I just apparently had a lot of Elon stuff today. Whoopsie. But yeah, there's rumors that he's going to start a new PayPal, which if anybody can do it, it's Elon. He helped set up the original. So we'll see what happens with that. I hope he does. I really do. He tweeted out today that PayPal has become a Black Mirror episode. He's not wrong. They basically have the social credit system, which was a one of their episodes. What else do we have? Don't care about that. That's Jean-Pierre again, which, by the way, I still think that's funny. I'm covered by the Hatch Act. It doesn't apply here, you silly wench. Doesn't apply at all. And I think that's all the main stories I had today, except for a more political one. And this is that House Republicans ramp up calls to impeach DHS Secretary Mayorkas. They don't have the House yet. They'll have it in a couple of days here. Just over a month. And there was a meeting today in front of reporters where they're like, we need to have impeachment hearings. And I'm not saying they shouldn't, okay? By all means, have an impeachment hearing. But I do want to ask this. What do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen if you are able to say, get out this Lex Luthor looking motherfucker who's not doing his job, right? You kick him out. One, you're not going to be able to because you only have the House. So what you're going to do is you're going to impeach him, and he won't get kicked out. Let's say somehow you get him out of office. Who do you think's the follow-up? Do you think Joe Biden's going to be like, you know what? We picked a really bad person that time. Let's pick something better. Or do you think it's going to be the same kind of shithead? Now, that doesn't mean you don't try to get him out, okay? Oh, thank you, Divine P, who says, hi, this is PayPal. You've been found in violation of our too smart for us policy. Thank you so much. I'm not saying that you can't get this guy out or try to get this guy out, but making it such a big deal before you even have the House, before you even are in control, back it up a step. All you're doing is giving ammunition to the notion that the only thing you're going to do is get in there and have revenge politics. Back it up and then do it. All right? Calm down a little bit. You got time. But they're trying to get McCarthy to commit to having impeachment hearings. That's the kind of shit you do behind closed doors. And if you have something very specific, by all means, and in Mayorkas's case, this comes down to the immigration policies and how they're not enforcing them at all. So absolutely, he should be kicked out of that job. But again, the problem is, one, he wouldn't be kicked out because there's no way in hell the Senate is going to kick him out. But it's the Biden administration. What you guys need to be doing is working on legislation like, you know what? How about this? All right. Actual immigration reform. Now, we hear immigration reform all the time. I'm not talking about a pathway to citizenship. Don't give a shit about pathway to citizenship because these motherfuckers threw that pathway out the window when they came here illegally. So here's what you do. Write up laws and push them to close all the goddamn loopholes that don't really exist. For instance, when it comes to dreamers, right? This isn't even a fucking law. This was pen and a pad from Mr. Obama. And then Trump tried to undo it. And they're like, oh, yeah, you forgot to cross a T. Fuck it. Put it into legislation. We don't care when you came here illegally. You got to go back home. You got to go back home. Fuck you. Get out of my country. You don't belong here. Do stuff like that. Yes, by all means, look, I want to see investigations on everybody, and not because of any kind of revenge, but because there's a lot of dirty motherfuckers that are getting away with all kinds of shit. But having a public fight over McCarthy because he may or may not commit to having a specific impeachment hearing for Mayorkas, before you ever get to the impeachment hearing, you need to have your judiciary hearings. There's other shit you got to do first. You're just setting it up so that the media can look at anything you do and go, yeah, this is just revenge politics. Doesn't mean you don't do it. It means there's a right way to do it. Fuck. Oh, you haven't even decided who's going to be on all the committees and shit yet. Fuck. Anyhow, Republicans, here's what I want from you going in. I would like all of these investigations. I really would. I would like a deep dive into that Hunter Biden laptop, a real deep dive into all of it. I would like to see Baba, what's his name? Baba. Fuck, I forget his name. I'd like to see him up there and on the congressional record tell who the big guy is. I want to see all that shit. But the only thing I really require of you is stop the Biden agenda. Just stop it. Did you see that stupid motherfucker today up there talking about Bobolinsky? That's his name. Thank you. But Biden up there talking about the defense the Defense of Marriage Act, or whatever it's called, the Open Marriage Act. I forget what it's actually called, but he gets up there and tells us that, did they really light the, yeah, they did. They lit the White House. Oh, good God. Could you guys virtue signal anymore? Could you virtue signal anymore? Who falls for this shit? Seriously. Liberals out there. I know a couple of you are there. Do you see the White House lit up like this and go, he really loves the gays? Are you that fucking stupid? Are you that easily swayed? Didn't Donald Trump wrap himself in a pride flag? Wasn't he holding a pride flag? Like when he first accepted the presidency? I mean, why when Biden does it is like, yes, he loves the gays, but if it's Trump doing it, you guys are like, okay, that's some political bullshit. But here's what, I don't have the video. I'm sure I could find it and maybe we will, but this was a tweet from the official POTUS account. Now, look, we all know Joe Biden does not have the mental capacity, the physical dexterity, or the wherewithal of where he's even at to tweet. But somebody from his account tweeted this. Marriage is a simple proposition. Who do you love? And will you be loyal to that person, to the person you love? Joe, was this aimed at your child? I'm just curious. Probably not the best way to put that. Anyway, will you be loyal to the person you love? It's not more complicated than that. The Respect for Marriage Act recognizes that everyone should have the right to answer those questions for themselves. All right. Okay. I know that sounds all I was going to say fruity, probably not the right word to use here. That sounds all flowery and shit, right? Did you guys notice it? Did you notice? There's no limit. There's no limits at all. It's just who you love. All right. Marty McFly's mom tried to love him. Notice there's nothing in there about age requirements for it. There's literally no qualifications put on this. And I mentioned, and there were some people like, oh, you just don't understand. Like, look, I'm going by what he said. And it is important. I pointed out over and over and over again, a lot of the kind of shit that we're seeing with the whole MAP movement comes directly from rhetoric from the gay marriage movement. That's not to say gays are groomers, but born this way and marry whoever you love. This kind of stuff is the rhetoric that they use. And I do not think it was an accident that they didn't put more in here. You're reading a meaning that isn't there into what was said, Monkey. I disagree, Sleepy Doodle. I disagree 100% because I do think there's a movement that is trying to get this shit to happen. Notice there's no polygamy argument in there. This is just, who do you love and will you be loyal? It's no more complicated. Literally says no more complicated. It is extremely more complicated. I'm not the one who wrote this shit. If you don't like my interpretation of it, I'm literally just reading the fucking words. There's no interpreting needed. It's not more complicated than that. Where am I reading too deeply into it's not more complicated than that? We've seen what's happened. We've seen what's happened since the gay marriage fight and how that rhetoric was used. We've seen it repeated. We've seen it's a sexuality. I was born this way. We told you then that this is a slippery slope. You can't be this way. You have to actually say, yes, there are limits. It is more complicated than that. It absolutely is. And to have the president of the United States or whoever's tweeting for him out there going, yeah, all it is who you love. Okay. All right. A brother and sister. They're both 20. Can they get married? Can they? They both love each other. They'll be loyal to each other forever. Are they allowed to get married? Huh? Hey, Jack, what's up?
Not much. How's it going?
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, we'll just leave it at wonderful. How you doing this evening? You feeling all right?
No, I'm really irritated, actually.
Oh, why are you irritated?
I've been trying to get in here for like 15 minutes, but Chrome would not work at all.
Oh.
And I've got a shit ton of tabs open because I didn't know you were live and I was working on a stream. So I've got like 40 tabs open in my other browser and it's bogging everything down. And I've just had a nightmare trying to get all the tabs open for that. And I've been fighting with it for like 3 hours.
Nice. Sorry to hear you're having those computer frustrations there.
Yeah, so I can't open chat, so I apologize to you guys. I can't even really see anything. So sorry guys.
I was just talking about Biden's ill-advised tweet that tells us marriage is a simple proposition. Who do you love, and will you be loyal to that person? It's not more complicated than that, because I think it's incredibly more complicated than that. And I think that's the kind of rhetoric that we saw during the gay marriage debate that has led us to where we are with maps.
Yep, I agree. Did you see the video of him talking about gay people getting married and then thrown out of restaurants?
I did. I know. Ebony, thank you so much for the sticker of the pair giving the thumbs up. I appreciate it, sweetie. I was, you know what? I'll look it up because I know
it's on my timeline.
Is it?
I
Okay.
retweeted it. Yeah, there's. I haven't been too busy on Twitter, so it should be too.
I saw several videos of this idiot today.
Oh my
god. This one, right? Yeah. Okay. There were several clips of this speech going around today. Kiev, thank you. Can you see this, Jack?
No.
I'm going to guess no.
No, I can't see chat because I can't open another tab or it'll crash the browser. I have Streamlabs and the StreamYards open, and that's all it'll sustain. Otherwise, it keeps crashing.
All right. Biden is speaking. He's got his Tom Cruise glasses on. Could have at least got him mirrored. Come on, man.
I know. He's getting lazy. But his plugs are combed back, so his back hair is nice and slick, I guess.
Yeah, that actually just makes him look like the guy from Poltergeist 3.
The old man? Yeah.
The old creepy guy? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen that comparison before, but that is very apt.
That's what he looks like right here. All right, anyway. But with glasses on. He needs that black hat is what he needs.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, is that as loud as it'll go? Okay. Sorry, guys. It's as loud as it'll go, so just try to bear with it. Hang on. Before we do that, there is a donation come through. Looks like his hair melted. Yeah, I mean, kind of.
It's like bad nacho cheese melt.
At this point, he might be a wax animatron. Keldrick, thank you. Imagine if a conservative had said this. The news would be all over the promotion of child marriage and the elimination of age of consent. It absolutely would be. It absolutely would be. Anyway, here we go.
Fundamental things that America thinks matter. So sadly, we must also acknowledge another reason we're here. Congress is acting because an extreme Supreme Court has stripped away the right important to millions of Americans that existed for half a century. The Dobbs decision, the court's extreme conservative majority overturned Roe v. Wade and the right to choose. In his concurring opinion, Justice Thomas went even further, and he wrote the following quote: "We should reconsider all the court's substantive due process precedents, including Griswold, Lawrence, Obergefell." That means he thinks we should reconsider whether you got the right.
I know he's going to go on, and that's actually what we were going to listen for.
Mm-hmm.
But you lying piece of shit. This is what they've been doing. This is what the liberals keep doing with this shit, okay? What Thomas said, he got it right, Jack. He said we need to rethink these ones that we've used substantive due process as the basis for them. But he goes on to say there may still be other reasons for those laws to be upheld.
Yeah, absolutely.
Including the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment, which would cover every fucking one of those and was part of those decisions.
Yeah, and that would be enough to maintain the law, but it's a specific thing he's talking about, and Biden's trying to misrepresent that very sneakily.
Biden is doing the same thing so many of these fucking retards have done. They're claiming that a black man married to a white woman is trying to get rid of interracial marriage.
This makes no sense. Hey, real quick. Thank you, Ebony Williams, who says, buy yourself something sweet to soothe your anger. Thank you, Ebony.
Look, maybe Thomas is just playing 4D chess here, and he's trying to get out of his marriage without losing half of his shit. But
hadn't thought of that.
yeah, I mean that's the only thing that makes sense. He's like, if I get interracial marriage overturned, this bitch can't take half my stuff. If anybody's got any other idea that works there, I'm willing to listen to it. But he wasn't saying to get rid of these decisions. He was saying that specific part of the decision, the idea, substantive due process, which, by the way, is the stuff in the penumbra, the shit that doesn't actually exist.
Yeah.
We need to get that off the books because it is a bad way to decide law because it was made up.
And he's right.
Yeah. And he goes on, the 14th Amendment Equal Protection Clause, which is a real thing. And if you're talking about something like, say, interracial marriage, if a black man can marry a black woman, then a white man should be able to marry a black woman. That is equal. It would still be covered. But they never say that. They always stop with him saying that it needs to be re-examined because they're lying shitbags. Thank you, Curatist. Next time Corinne Jean-Pierre brings up the Hatch Act, show her this Biden clip. Justice Thomas didn't sign a prenup. Probably not. I'm pretty sure they've been married for a long, long time. Jenny and him, it's Jenny, right? Jenny Thomas?
I don't know.
But don't worry, the left hates her too, so they would be okay with them having problems. Anyway, I'm sorry. I had to stop there because every time I hear this goddamn bullshit, it pisses me off.
Oh, I knew you were going to stop there.
Whether you got the right to access to contraception. And yes, we should reconsider whether you have the right to marry who you love. And that's not only the challenge ahead. When a person can be married in the morning and thrown out of a restaurant for being gay in the afternoon, this is still wrong. Wrong.
When in the last 30 years has that ever happened?
Did I miss a major news story?
I don't think so, because I missed it
Fuck.
too.
Who the fuck is throwing people out of the restaurant for being gay?
I have no idea. I looked and I didn't see anything about this. Not, in the Google search, you don't find it. And I
Sure.
searched a bunch of news sites. I didn't see anything about this. So I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
I honest to God don't know. I've never fucking heard anything about that recently. God, going back probably to the 70s.
Right? Like, maybe if you were doing some PDA in the 80s and a couple of dudes are making out and like trying to grab ass each other. But I can't honestly think of an incident where that happened.
Pretty sure it was gays tossing out the straights lately. I mean, even then, it's not like it's more fights end up happening than get out of here, you pussy lover. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know what the hell he's talking about. You can get married in the morning and get kicked out of a restaurant at lunch. Joe, are you back in the 50s? Are you back in Scranton in your head? What's going on, man?
Scranton. Where
Damn
he
Scranton.
loves to be.
All right. I don't know how to take that. Yeah, I hadn't seen that specific part of it. God, that's our president, man. And did you notice that the crowd broke out in expected cheers?
Yeah. Like they all knew what he was talking about. Like, yeah, don't throw the gays out.
The fuck are you talking about? Where's this happening?
The only thing I can think of is that somebody may have thrown a drag queen out of a restaurant somewhere and he's conflating that. But otherwise, I have no idea when this happened. Like,
even then, I feel like we would have seen a headline.
Oh, absolutely. This would be plastered all over the fucking news. But that's what I was thinking. It had to have been at least 30 years ago since anything like that's happened. I searched my memory. I searched the internet. I couldn't find anything on a gay couple being thrown out for being gay.
Carrier says closest thing I can think of is a bakery that refused to make the wedding cake. I mean, if they're trying to go for like the Pizza Hut where they wouldn't, well, not pizza, it was a pizza chain. I forget what it was. But if you were going with them, even them, They didn't refuse to serve him pizza. They refused to cater a gay wedding.
Yeah. Yeah. They weren't thrown out of the restaurant.
Yeah. That's fucking stupid. And the cake one, even then, he didn't say they couldn't buy a cake. He said he just wouldn't make one specific for it.
Yeah.
They could buy any of the pre-made ones that he had out in the shop. By the way, what was the case? You told me about it last night that got settled. Oh, fuck. The college that had gotten sued. Oberlin College, yes. Had gotten sued for spreading false information about, is it a bakery that they said they were racist?
Yeah, because they stopped a black shoplifter from stealing a bottle of wine.
And it's all on tape, and they just stopped a shoplifter, but it became this blown up thing like, oh my God, look how racist they are. Tried to put this company out of business, so they sued them. And they won. They won against Oberlin College. And Oberlin College has been dragging its feet paying. Well, they finally paid up, y'all.
$36 million.
$36 million of the tuition that should have been going to help those kids. They fucked around and found out.
Yeah. Well, and if the faculty hadn't been doing a lot of the protesting and stirring up the rabble, it probably wouldn't have succeeded for the bakery. But the bakery won. They got a judgment of $36 million, and the school finally lost all their appeals, so now they're paying out.
Yeah, it had to be 6 months or a year ago when we last covered this story, and they were refusing still.
Yeah.
Like, no, we're not getting. Fuck you. You guys tried to ruin this business. And it was official school things that were doing it. They were allowing this shit to be handed out, flyers, and they were wasn't there even like a meeting that they had?
I think so. And I want to say they were sending notices to students saying not to use the bakery.
Yep.
So yeah, good for this small business. The poor guy that originally was the owner of the place, he died right after the first appeal, I think. But after the judgment had already been said for them, so he's not going to get to see them paying out, but his wife will, and she's planning on keeping the bakery open. It's been around for 137 years.
I would construct a small statue with some of that money with a middle finger pointed towards the college.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. Because fuck them. And this was all part of all of that nonsense that was going on there. God, I guess this stuff goes back to easily 2015, where we started seeing a lot of this nonsense of racism calls. We saw the Mississippi University Miss You, where the chancellor tried to run over the black guy because the black guy kept stepping in front of his fucking car.
Yeah.
And then he had to have that safe space on campus where the ugly chick who looked like Ronald McDonald and Wendy had a retarded kid. We need some, what was it she said? Muscle. We need muscle over here. Muscle over here. And it turns out the kid involved is like the kid of a multimillionaire. He was so oppressed as a black kid his whole life. Living in places you and me wouldn't even be allowed, Jack. But they decided they had to have.
It's a rough life.
Melissa Click, yes, that's her name, Melissa Click. Missouri, I'm sorry, not Mississippi. Thank you, B-Dog. Missouri, you. Miss you.
Oh. Hey, B-Dog.
Thank you for the correction there. Look, some of this stuff's been a few years old, and my brain just goes, blah, 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 blah. You know how it goes.
I understand.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, it was all during that kind of stuff. And we saw things like black churches burned down, and it turned out it was a black person. There was a gay church that got vandalized. It turned out it was the organist at the church who did it.
Yeah.
We had the bomb threats called in at that BLM rally, I guess, but like only 6 people showed up. So one of the girls there decided to go do a bomb threat to bring attention to it. Yeah. all kinds of this nonsense was going on. But everyone that came up, it didn't matter how true it was. It didn't matter how much actual relation there was to anything going on. The media jumped on it to tell us how racist and sexist and horrible everybody was. There's the Jewish girl who was writing anti-Semitic shit on a whiteboard that hung on her dorm door.
Yeah.
Got the FBI involved. It turns out it was her doing it. And what did they do? Oh, look, punishing her would just look, she clearly has problems, you see. She clearly has problems, and punishing her would probably just make those worse.
That don't want to do that.
You think they would have done that if they'd caught somebody else writing that shit? No. But yeah, there's all kinds of this shit went on during this time, and I'm glad at least one of them had to pay for it.
It became such a common thing that Matt Christensen and Blonde have an entire segment on their show every week devoted to Hoax 8.
Weekly, they have a new one. Occasionally, it's an update to an old one, but yeah, weekly, there's a story like this.
Yeah, for a while, they were having like 2 or 3 of them.
There was a one that just came out today. Fuck, what was it? Oh, damn, my brain's going to not let me have it. But there was another Hoax Hate thing that came out today. Like, really? Oh, I know what it was. It was a school where supposedly they're playing football, right? And supposedly the coach of the one team could hear racial slurs from the other side of the field from the student section.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't sound made up at all.
Yeah, and it turns out there's absolutely zero evidence of this whatsoever. Shocking, right?
I know, I'm shocked.
Matt and Blonde, if you need one for your show, check that one out. Yeah, that one just came out today. Well, we saw another. It's very similar to that volleyball one we saw a couple months back. We're like, yeah, they were saying racial slurs. And they're like, we looked at everybody's phones and there's none of that shit. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, that basketball one where the lady was claiming that when she was leaving the field or coming on, somebody yelled a racial slur, and it turned out to be some autistic kid just sitting there. Remember that one?
I don't remember that one. That one's funny. Whoopsie. Keep the tards at home, would you? They don't understand meme lore. Keep them at home, biting at their own face where they belong.
All right.
Which one, Monk? Matt set me up with an email. Can you mention that again? It's a football. God, I don't remember where it was at. Just look up football hoax hate. Supposedly, the other team was screaming the N-word. Well, not the other team. The other fans, the student section, they were yelling the N-word. And turns out that there's no. I don't know if I can find it in my history. I read the story earlier tonight. Not on the show, but in my free time.
What? You have that?
No, my free time is spent looking for shit to talk about on here. I even thought for a while, like, maybe I'll play a game. And I was like, no, I got to find stuff to talk about. God, it was a while ago. What time did I see that? I usually remember, the kind of general time frame of where I saw a story. But apparently I was all over today.
Yeah,
there's the Nancy Mace stuff. I don't know. I could probably find the let's just do hoax hate search.
That's not going to narrow it down any.
Yeah, but if you search by news, sometimes you'll find the latest article. Shit. I wish I could even remember where I read it. It's somewhere on Twitter. I'll see if I can find it for you later, bud. Jack, that was volleyball at the University of Utah versus Kentucky. No, because the volleyball one, there was no racial slurs.
Yeah, there was a volleyball one, and then there was a basketball one. They happened pretty close together. I think one copied off the other. But you might be right. I might be confusing the two. I don't fucking know. You're asking me to remember stuff at 5 a.m. And I've been fighting with my computer for the last 3 hours.
Rogue is saying that Matt and Blonde covered that story all right or already. Fair enough.
Probably. Matt's on that hoax hate shit. He's pretty good about that. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I just saw it today. I can't watch everything.
Now with that attitude, Twitter.
I guess I could. I don't want to. Dude, I don't know about you, but sometimes I get to the point where it's like I don't even want to look at anything else. I want to veg out and listen to music or something.
Yeah, I understand.
Dude, there was a here's the story. It's from 8 hours ago. They might have already covered it, but my screen froze up. It's investigation found no N-word slur at football games. Some media keep misleading. This is from some conservative talk radio site. But here's the story if you want to check it out. And again, it's exactly like the volleyball one. Like, yes, it happened. And then like, all right, well, we'll do an investigation. We'll look at the video and stuff. Like, where are you hearing these N-words? No,
They're
this is
phantom N-words. They're ghosts, spooky racist ghosts.
Do you know who Shannon Sharp is?
Probably that sounds familiar, but
Shannon Sharp was a tight end for the Broncos, a legendary tight end. I hate the man as a football player because he used to make the Chargers look bad, but he was actually really good at his job. And now he's on, I think, ESPN. And him and this other guy, I don't remember the other guy's name, some older white guy, not that matters, but they're talking about Tom Brady and how Tom Brady is having a bad year. The Buccaneers got beat 35-7 the other day. Oof. And Shannon Sharp is just pointing out that Brady is not playing very well because he's not. I don't remember his exact passing stats, but he had 1 touchdown with 2 interceptions, 250 yards, I think it was. So really not a good day. And Shannon Sharp was just pointing this out. And this guy butts in to tell him, basically, you're just jealous because you retired too soon while Tom's still out there at 45, killing it. He said to him, you retired at 35. He's out there at 45. It was one of the most insane things I've ever watched about football. Shannon loses his shit. It's like, are you kidding me? You're telling me I'm just jealous because I'm pointing out he's playing badly?
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
It was funny, though. Any football fans out there, look that up and check it out because it was funny as shit. I have noticed something, Jack. I have noticed on my timeline over the Spud Gun, shut up. He said the Chargers make the Chargers look bad. No, that's not true. Eyesight makes them look bad. How dare you? Anyway, on my timeline, I'm noticing this year a lot more people talking about the NFL for play reasons than I have in the last several years. And it's weird how it coincides with the NFL not talking about social justice shit so much.
Weird how
Isn't
that
it?
might be related.
Yeah, it's almost like those two things could be impactful of one another.
Yeah, but you know for a fact that they haven't learned their lesson.
I just noticed it this last weekend because there was so much football talk on my timeline, which I agree, or I like. You know, I'm a football fan, so it's not a bad thing, but it just suddenly hit me like, wow, this is the most I've seen people talk about football in probably half a decade. And it does. It goes all the way back to the stupid Colin Kaepernick shit.
Yeah.
And now that
the NFL's slow learners, man, they're not going to realize that.
Phasmo Christmas update just went live. Well, if you're up for it, Bubba, I am going to play after we're done here. So we'll play some Christmas Phasmo. Yeah. I'm glad to see it. I know you're probably right that they're slow learners and they'll do something else to piss off fans. But as a football fan, I really hope they've learned their lesson and just stay the fuck out of politics. Just shut the fuck up.
Dare to dream.
Let people watch the game. Let people enjoy the game. How many millions did the NFL have stolen by BLM? Probably a lot. Probably a lot.
Real quick. Thank you, Frosted Glass, who says, you're better off not being able to see chat, Jack. Just a bunch of hot Asian chicks posting their phone numbers. I've had to time out like 20 of them. Damn it, Frosted. Don't make me sadder than I already am.
Yes. Dangerous just dropped that clip of Shannon Sharp into the chat. That is the clip. That shit is funny as fuck. If you're a football fan, check it out. I'm not going to recommend it or bring it up on the show because it's really only interesting to football fans.
And the NFL will hit you for it too.
Yeah. We don't make that much money. We just get a claim on it. But that's not what I care about. If it was a great play or something, I'd put it on the screen. I will say this, Tom Brady, I realize you lost all your money with FTX. You probably have to play until you're 65 now. But you really should have retired last year.
Well, I mean, realistically, it's not like he's in the poorhouse.
No. Well, it depends, man. From the sounds of it, a lot of his money went into FTX.
300 million, supposedly.
Yeah, it's 360 million, if I remember correctly, between him and Giselle.
That's even worse.
I don't know how much they were worth, how much that is of their overall net worth. Hopefully they weren't dumb enough to put all of their money in one basket. Got to spread them eggs out.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, he might be like the poorest guy in the NFL now. I don't fucking know how much he put in there. But on that, I mean, they did give us the indictment today, or the arrest warrant today, Jack. They unsealed it. Sam Bankman-Fried, shockingly, he's been arrested for fraud.
What? No, I'm shocked.
Right? It's wait, is that the one guy white-splaining? Dangerous. I did see some people. Sorry, back to the Shannon Sharp thing real quick. I saw a couple of people who were saying that this was the white guy trying to white-splain. It had nothing to do with race, and the people who said that are just fucking stupid. Literally, there's no race thing in there. It's one of those where you'd have to really try to find it in the penumbra. But anyway, yeah, so they told us why Fried was arrested, and shock of all shocks is because he was, defrauding people of millions of dollars, billions of dollars, actually.
What?
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with him. I do wonder if he'll try to cop a plea and stuff.
It would surprise me if he started rolling on people.
I would, if I was him in this instance. Because this is not go to jail for 2 years. This is 20 years, motherfucker. You're going.
Yeah.
Tom Brady is advertising for Hertz. If I'm Tom Brady right now, I sell my face to everything so I can retire. Because his career, he's having a bad fucking year. He's having a Chargers kind of year. That's how bad of a year he's having. Poor bastard. I do wonder how many Democrats right now. Jack, did you see the Corinne Jean-Pierre? I'm covered by the Hatch Act bullshit?
No.
Oh my God. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to watch it again because it's funny as shit to me and it's dumb. So a reporter is asking her about whether or not Joe Biden will return the money he got from FTX.
That's a no.
Why is this not opening?
I don't know.
My computer's been acting squirrely the last couple of days.
Mine too.
I might need to do some cleanup work to it. Oh, come on. Open the fuck up. Jesus. But anyway, so Jack, I'm going to play the clip, but the reporter's questions are kind of quiet. So just so you guys know what the questions are. He asks, will Joe Biden be giving back the money? And does he think that other people who took money from FTX should give it back? It's a pretty simple question, right?
Very straightforward.
You would think so. Apparently not. Apparently it's very complicated and it involves some U.S. legal issues.
Uh-huh.
All right. It's finally open. I got to scroll down and find the video because it's just so ridiculous. Where you at, Corinne? There you are. You dirty bitch. Play. And pause and blow up to size. Make sure volume's all the way up. All right. Again, the reporter's question is kind of quiet. Nothing I can do about that, guys. But Corinne's bullshit is full throttle.
Yeah, former FTX Senate ranked three in the rest of the Bahamas. The president received campaign donations from him, many prominent Democrats and some Republicans as well. Will the president return that donation? Does he call on all politicians who got campaign donations that may have come from customer money to return those funds?
So look, I'm covered here by the Hatch Act, limited on what I can say, and anything that's connected to political contributions from here, I would have to refer you to the DNC.
Yep. That's what she said.
She looks like a Cabbage Patch Kid right there.
I'm asking the president's opinion, though. Does he want those people who?
No, you asked me two questions. You asked me about will he return the donations, and then you asked me about his opinion. I'm answering the first part, which is I'm covered by the Hatch Act from here. I'm limited to what I can say, and I just can't talk to political contributions or anything related to that.
That is absolutely 100% not true.
Yeah, I was going to say, that doesn't sound right.
Cannot speak about it from here.
And his opinion, though.
I just cannot speak to this from here. Even his opinion, even his thoughts about the contributions, donations, I cannot speak from.
Is that your job?
Yes. And it wouldn't be her advocating any policy or anything or advocating for a candidate, so she could absolutely do it.
Yeah, she's the press secretary. She's not even involved in the campaign. So why is she covered by the Hatch Act on this?
But wait a minute, Jack. Wait for it, because we got 8 seconds. The end of this is funny as shit.
From here.
And then covered by the Hatch Act?
I am covered by the Hatch Act, which I'm happy to say over and over again, because we believe in the rule of law here.
Yeah, let's go with that story, Corinne.
Yep. She just can't talk about giving back those donations because it would be a Hatch Act violation, which I've read the Hatch Act. No, it wouldn't. You're supposed to check your Streamlabs, bub.
Yeah, thank you, Evolved Potato. Frosted is right, Jack. Most of the sexy Asians in the chat say they only like older white guys do stuff with at least 3 other of the girls. So better off you're not getting involved. Thanks, Evolved. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Liberwolf says Weasley is fuck. Yeah. The fact that the reporters let her get away with this is what bothers me. Her being a lying shit. Well, I mean, is what it is.
Yeah.
How many times in the future do you think she'll use the Hatch Act to not answer questions? What's funny that she said that she's happy to say that over and over again, because she gives the impression that she's used it before, and I've never seen it, so maybe she has. I think you'll see that a lot, especially in regard to the Bankman-Fried crap. But this isn't what the Hatch Act is about. It's not. It's to stop people in government positions from campaigning for people who are running for office. Using her version of this, she should never be allowed to push any policy at all.
Yeah. So there are probably a lot of questions that she answers that she shouldn't, if that's the case.
But this is again, the Hatch Act became a thing during the Hatch Act has been a thing for a long time, but it blew up and was suddenly this, I don't want to say household word, but political household term during the Trump administration, when so many retards would run out there and say, Donald Trump just violated the Hatch Act, which the Hatch Act specifically says does not cover the president and vice president, because those two men are on the job at all times.
You pointing that out is stochastic terrorism, monkey.
You got another Streamlabs, bud.
Oh, sorry, guys. Just came through. Thank you, Dark Resurrect. If Bankman rolls, he'll probably get real sad real quick. Yes, but that was a feminist donation, so thank you. And he probably will get super sad.
My daughter sent me a meme tonight. It said, leaked photos of Sam Bankman-Fried's prison guard, and it's Hillary with a fake mustache on. Nuts ass bets on the mainstream media start saying she's covered by it now. Oh, they absolutely will.
Yeah, they will. Oh, thank you, Keldrig. For someone who speaks on behalf of the president, she doesn't say a whole lot. Well, neither does he. It's mostly like, potatoes! I want no gratin potatoes! Is it nappy time yet? Did you see that clip of Joe Biden handing him some kind of pill?
I saw that it's on your timeline, but I haven't watched it. We can watch it in a second. Apparently, we were just asked about this if we'd mentioned that Sam Britton has been, or sorry, Britton, I don't know how you say his name, has been fired.
Oh, who?
I hadn't even seen that. The weird bald guy who's been stealing luggage, who works for, or had worked for the Atomic Agency.
Yeah, it was in the queue the other day, but we were doing the Twitter files, so we never got to it.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, he got fired like 2 days ago because he's under indictment.
He probably should have been fired immediately when the story first broke. They shouldn't have had to wait for a second story of this motherfucker involved in grand larceny. Poop my pants. Exactly, Faithless. That's our president. Poop my pants. I don't know why that makes me laugh every time I see it. It's really not that funny.
Do you think Putin calls him President Poopykins?
Probably. Oh, we did see that Putin is not having his end of the year press briefing that he normally has.
Yeah.
And I saw a whole bunch of, call them American media, who were like, oh, see, this shows that things are going badly for him. And my thought when I first heard he was canceling the meeting is he's afraid of getting assassinated.
Yeah.
Because typically what he does is he has a room with like 150, 200 reporters in there, and he sits in there and he just answers questions. And the one news story I saw about it today said he's gone as long as 4 hours just sitting there answering questions. 4 hours with 150 people in a room. Fuck that. Somebody's going to attack. Matt Barnes, thank you. If she's going to claim Hatch Act, the African reporters should get after her so she gets pissed and leaves. Please split with Jack. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, that African reporter, he was on Tucker Carlson the other night. He had him on. The guy's trying to ask a question. He's like, can I ask a question about this? And she goes, you just did. And he goes, no, I didn't. Can I? And she stormed out of the room.
Yeah, she's a baby.
She is.
She's really bad at that job, too.
I don't know why she doesn't like that African guy, because this is not the first time she's treated him like shit. Apparently, Corinne Jean-Pierre doesn't like Africans. You heard it here first. Yes. Well, probably not here first, but it does seem to be a thing. So, all right, here is Jill and Joe. Oh, yeah, she definitely just gave him a pill. Maybe it was a Tic Tac because his breath stank.
Yeah, it was like a little reward. Like, here's your little meth pill. You good boy, you.
Have a little Adderall.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyhow.
Thank you, Keldrick. An amazing track record for Biden appointees. Isn't it, though? It's really amazing how many of them are like, have disturbing backstories or have been criminally charged with something.
Lawmakers have introduced a bill to ban TikTok in the U.S. Elon needs to resurrect Vine. Yeah, I don't know where that bill's going to go. I mean, the on official government phones, I believe all of them, you're not allowed to use TikTok. And the reason for that is we know it is a Chinese spying device.
Yeah.
If you're using TikTok, the Chinese have all your information. Now, for most people, that's probably not important. But Elon, I don't know if he's going to bring back Vine. There was talk about resurrecting Vine. I know Elon wants to make, I mean, he asked on Twitter if he should make or what it would take to get people posting video to Twitter. So it's definitely something he's looking to do. Anyway, we're almost at the 2-hour mark. Guys, I'm gonna be on twitch.tv/ranting monkey playing some Phasmo with I almost called him Hobo.
Hotep?
Yeah. My brain went to Hobo. Bubba, I'm sorry. With Bubba Hobo, we're gonna be over there playing some Phasmo. Come check that out. Thank you so much for watching with us. Don't forget, if you want the lowdown on the Twitter files, you didn't watch them yourself, we have like 10 hours worth going over all of it. All you gotta do is go back and watch it. Thank you for the donations. You guys are so very kind. Really, really do appreciate all of the support you give us. Jack, what would you like to share this evening?
I'm gonna do a stream in a little while about the Idaho murders and catch up some more on that. And because I already went to all the trouble to get everything around and fight with my computer for. But otherwise, that's about all I got going on. Otherwise, I can't drop any links or anything. But thank you so much for the donations. You guys are awesome. It's greatly appreciated.
Twitch.tv/ranting monkey for us playing games. It's the Mr. Jack channel, right? For where you're doing yours.
Yep.
This is the 4 kids who've been killed. There have been some development, guys, so make sure you check that out as well. Don't forget to hit the like button and the Rumble button. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, Jack. A pleasure as always.
Always glad to be here.
Everybody, have a wonderful night. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye, everybody.
I'm going to go play with a hobo. I'm going to try not to get ringworm.